All right, it's several days later. so, last episode I had a cold and I went and did laundry in the middle of the night. So the day after that, whoa, I woke up feeling so shitty. The worst day for sure. This has definitely been the most sick I've been on this trip, because before this, well, I mean, I was food poisoned pretty bad, but that's different. I feel like that doesn't count. And I was definitely sick when I got to Jeju, but I barely remember, really. I remember I was sick enough to kind of want to stay away from people, but definitely this was worse. However, it's like a week later now, a week since I first got sick, and I feel fine pretty much now. So I still can't complain. You know, I was really only sick. It was like each day was a different stage, a different form of being sick, and then I started getting better pretty fast. I feel like a week you can't complain about. If you're sick for 2 weeks, I feel like that's almost standard. Anything below that, you got away all right. But yeah, the next day I was fustigated, but then the day after that, I did start to feel better, but things had just slipped so far from not being able to sleep, staying up all night coughing, because my sleep schedule's not good anyway. So it got so insane that was the first day that I didn't see the sun. I woke up like an hour and a half before the sun went down and I couldn't be bothered getting outside for it. I was like, oh, whatever. And then by the time I finally did go outside just for a little constitutional, try to find some streets without people on them and stuff, keep myself quarantined, it was already dark. And I was like, oh man, what the fuck? So anyway, at this point, I'm basically better. I finally felt like it wasn't irresponsible for me to take the subway somewhere. I feel like I'm all right now. But trying to pull myself back from the brink of the backward sleep is definitely tough. Because even just last night, it's like, I'm going to bed at 4 a.m. That's not so bad. But by 5 a.m., I wasn't even close to falling asleep. So I was like, I don't know, maybe I should just get up. What's the point of this? And then, it's like 7 a.m. by the time I finally go to bed. Not good. All right, this is the trail I was looking for. Pretty sure this is it. Bailusishan Trail. Bailusishan. All right, well, let's go. I think this is it. I hope this is it, because I'm going up here. Oh yeah, cool. One of these signs with the distances. Well, this one's not in English, though. Usually I've been getting soft. I expect English, but I think this is 0.9 kilometers, 30 minutes. Oh, that's nothing. That is easy. But yeah, the reason I'm at a small, easy trail is I finally woke up at like 2:15. And like, that's how fucked things have been, is that I'm like, that's good, that's fine, I can work with that. Waking up at 2 in the afternoon is like, yeah, it could be a lot worse. By the time I got my shit together, it was 2:45. I decided to come out to basically to repeat where I was before. Can't do anything too huge because it's so late in the day. So I came to Dahu Park, Dahu Park, on the Brown Line, because this is, there was a lake that I previously went to on the Brown Line. This is the next lake over. But I missed my first transfer, it took a while to get here. It's like 4:30 by the time I got here. So here we go. Now I'm on this little path by Dahu Park. Have a nice little hike, just try to get shit rolling again. Try to get up, get out of bed, go do something. And then hopefully this will all compound together. Making sure I get up and out and go do some kind of hike will hopefully wear me out so that it's easier to fall asleep. And hopefully it won't take too many days to get things back to some kind of reasonable point. Because my plan now is, when I was across from Yangmingshan National Park, looking at those mountains, because they're the biggest mountains around here, the 1,000-meter mountains, and they looked kind of scary and foreboding, and I was like, do I even want to do that? That shit's crazy. But spending a whole week down, just staying in my neighborhood, not wanting to take transit because I didn't want to make anyone sick, just walking in parks or along riverside stuff, now I feel really motivated to get back at that, to go try to do the for real big hike up into the for real big mountain in the for real big national park. And it's not too bad, just got to take a subway to Dahu, take a bus for like an hour. That'll get me back to the bottom where I've been before, to the park entrance. And then 1,000 meters is pretty big. I don't think I've ever been on a 1,000-meter mountain besides maybe the Grouse Grind in British Columbia. I don't know how tall that is. That's pretty tall though. But out here I have not. So we'll see. Maybe it's daunting, but on the other hand, maybe it's not that bad, I'm always surprised how quickly you can get up a mountain. It's just like going up is just not really comparable to going sideways. You can go along the ground, you can walk forever. You can walk for days and days and months and months. Getting up to the top of a mountain is relatively quick compared to that. So it might not be too big of a deal, but because it is this longish journey, it'll take a couple hours to get there. And then, at least a couple hours to get up there, and then I gotta get back down. I can't be starting at fucking 4 p.m., that's for sure. I'm just gonna have to get up earlier. So in the meantime, I just searched, hiking trails near me on Google Maps. And there's so many littler trails in Taipei, just a ton of them. Tons of options. So I came to this one because I've already been almost here before, so this adds on to my previous little exploration. And this is pretty nice. It's like a stone path heading up through some mountains, some nice jungly mountains. There's a lot of people on this trail that I'm passing. Pretty simple, but very nice. But yeah, I had one day in particular when I was walking across the bridge from New Taipei City into Ximen, so I could just go hike around the park on the edge of Ximen. A nice way to stay away from people, because there's never anybody on that fucking bridge. Or I found if there is, there's also a walking trail on the other side of the bridge. If there's gonna be anybody there on that side, because there's like a little island in the middle. And you can actually walk down. There's steps from the bridge, you can go down there, but it really feels like Far Cry 3 when you look down there. It looks like encampments. It's like, I don't think I should be down there. But if you're not on that side of the bridge, there's nobody. So yeah, just walking along the bridge, being sick, just being to myself. And it was a super clear day, and I could see the national park mountains way in the distance. And yeah, I was teetering between those two feelings. Of the one feeling was like, oh, I shouldn't even be out here. I have no energy. This fucking sucks. But then I could feel, the healed version of myself waiting in the wings, chilling in the background. And that side was like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, we're going there. We're gonna go to that shit. See that fucking mountain in the distance? You're gonna be on top of that motherfucker. But not today, and not tomorrow, and maybe not this week, and maybe not next week. Who the fuck knows? But it's coming, man. It's fucking coming. I'm gonna do that shit. Man, it's such a downer too. I'm not gonna dwell on this because it's such a downer. But being sick and having headaches and having no energy, it reminded me of being in the hospital with my dad, where that's basically how he described stuff. He would just kind of wake up for little bits and fall back asleep a lot. And he just said he was like always exhausted. He never woke up feeling rested. And food didn't taste like anything. It tasted like metal. He's like eating ice cream and he's like, it doesn't taste like ice cream no more. Just sick without ever being able to get better. Because being sick sucks, but at least the healing is coming. So, man, this also blows my mind, the idea of societies that don't have medically assisted suicide. How cruel and weird. But anyway, luckily, in Atlantic Canada, that wasn't a problem. He was able to just end it when he was ready to end it. And he died one day before his birthday. And so, we did bring that up of like, it would be a perfect loop. One more time around the track, perfect symmetry if you died on your birthday. And he's like, yeah, I thought of that too. But it's a double whammy of like, people wishing you a happy birthday on the day you're gonna die. That's fucking unpleasant. And he's like, and I just don't care, man. I don't want to be alive for one more day. Fuck it, this is over. Super sad and super depressing, but he wasn't wrong. And yeah, the idea of like forcing a person like that to just hang on. How strange. What a bizarre thing to do. But yeah, just a sobering thing to remember of like, yeah, one of these days, man, this is coming for all of us. Unless a piano falls on your head, someday you're going to be in that position where it's like you have a horrible flu and it's never going to get better. You're just going to die. Whoa. But anyway, let's not dwell because I ain't there yet. But I did think about my paw and it felt bad. But yeah, I'm on the other side of the coin. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I've been going uphill this whole time. This is actually pretty steep. Geez, yeah, and it's just more and more stairs ahead of me. The fact that I'm able to even just talk and do a stupid podcast while I'm continuously walking uphill. Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Coming back to life for now. But yeah, I can't even see the top of this dang thing. It's gonna be a nice view from up there, I reckon. But yeah, let's turn this motherfucking recorder off. And a lot of people on this trail. It's a Sunday as well. Probably makes it more busy, but yeah, there's a lot of people. This is a popular spot. It reminds me, the feeling is like that mountain in Busan. Which, what does that mean? I don't remember the name. But there was a mountain in Busan next to a shrine where I tried to go through the back of the shrine up into the mountain. And there was barbed wire. This feels similar to that. And yeah, that was the day that I realized flight prices back home were horrifyingly expensive because the weather had gotten better. And that's when I decided, well, fuck it. I guess I'm just staying in Asia. Which was a good choice, because here I fucking am. Man, I was saying how this place reminded me of Busan, but actually it's much more similar to just another mountain from here in Taiwan, the one near the national park, where they had the little seating area set up for Emperor Hirohito, even though he wasn't able to come there with the cherry trees and stuff. That mountain I was on that had all of the very interesting plaques, informational signs about flora. So the place was cool. This is like a smaller version of that. It's like half the size. But still nice, and like what I was saying about how going up is not necessarily that big a deal. This is a perfect example of that too. Just suddenly I'm looking down through the trees and seeing the lake, and it's like, yeah, I was just walking next to that lake, fucking 15 minutes ago. And now it's way down there, way down there. Look at that. It's like magic. Just because I didn't grow up in this mountainous terrain. It's just, I think this is going to be fascinating to me for the rest of my life. Like, this is all I need for, I consider this a fun day. This is an exciting day to just go find a fucking mountain and go walk up it. I mean, this is like a glorified hill. Good enough, I'll take it. And then there was a pretty cool view from up here. So yeah, just a nice little quick up and down. I'm on the way down now. I think this is my plan. This is my plan to try to get things calibrated again, there's like a surprising number of these, just random little hiking trail markers if you just search Google Maps for show hiking trails near me. Man, a lot of people. Awkward to talk to myself. But yeah, this is the plan, I think, just to try to sweep up some of these mini adventures, anything I can get to on a subway line, even if it's just like this, a quick little 30-minute hike, that is fine. Just whatever. And then when the day comes, when things line up, that I actually wake up early enough to go do the main hike. The nice thing is it's still, so much less than Halasan Mountain on Jeju, for example, where Halasan you needed to register ahead of time. You had to go at a specific time. You had to start at a specific time. I mean, it might be that way here too. Well, I guess I'll see when I get to the visitor center. Like, they might not let you enter the mountain after a certain time here either. I don't know. But you don't have to do all the specific registering and going on a certain day, and then you're stuck in that system for the next 8 or 9 hours. And if it's rainy or if it's crazy hot or if it's super polluted that day, just like, yeah, that was a whole big pain. This one, I just got to wait till things line up right, that I get to bed early, I wake up relatively early, and I can just hop on transit and just go do it. Just the right level of, it still feels pretty epic. It's still like the end boss of Taipei. But there's a world of difference between just a 1,000-meter mountain that you can just hop on a bus and then, go hike up, as opposed to one you got to register for. And I wasn't even on the right side of the island. I was on the opposite side of the island to make the proper approach. That one never worked out and probably never will. This one, I'm gonna fucking do it, man. I'm gonna do it. But not yet. For now, just building up the stamina, building up the actual ability to go to sleep. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff on the brown subway line. There's a lot of neat access to various hiking. It is a good place for, this is about as minor as a hike can get, but then the ones on the other side to the north, those ones, you could do that for the whole afternoon. Nice and intermediate. And then there's a subway to whisk you away. I'm not sure too, I didn't check the temperature, but I don't know, I wonder if we're still in heat warning. Maybe not, it's still hot. I'm still sweating my dick off, but I feel like that ever-present heat warning that has just been on the news every single fucking day for weeks and weeks and months. I don't know if it said that today. Maybe it didn't. This feels like normal summertime, Being in direct sunlight is still pretty unpleasant. But this doesn't feel crazy anymore. So maybe while I was down and out, we are in mid-September now. This shit's got to stop sometime. Maybe we're finally there. All right, so still in my continuing attempts to try to get back into normal society. Also trying to remember how to get to the subway. I haven't taken the subway from this neighborhood a ton of times because it's so easy to, either I've been staying in this neighborhood or just walking across the bridge to Hemei. I even realized that little last segment when I was coming home, I was like, instead of doing, because it's like an awkward double transfer to get back here, to go from the brown line to the green line for only one stop to the, I don't know if I'm on the orange line or the yellow line, but anyway, I realized I could just take the green line near Taipei main station and go walk through Hemei and then take the bridge home. Have a nice little stroll home. And yeah, now as I walk, my mental map is coming to me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know where to go. But anyway, the other day, I went to bed at 7 a.m., woke up at like 2 in the afternoon. I was like, I can work with this. Then the day after, I don't know, man, it's crazy. I didn't fall asleep till 8 a.m. It sucks seeing the sun fully up out the window and you're like, time to go to bed. And then I woke up a little past 1 p.m. So it was like even more of a crunch. Up later, woke up earlier. It's like, I don't know what's happening, but I still thought like, I can work with this. But I couldn't work with that. That was not enough sleep. So I just stayed home. Stayed home yesterday. Had to take a little nap midday just to survive that shit. So now it's 2 days later. I'm just passing a little shrine. It's kind of cool how there are like hidden shrines in the city. Like just in the, this is actually by the laundromat I was at the other day. It's just a row of businesses, you know, where they have like, they have steel shutters that they close at night, then they open them up in the day, and it's a laundromat or a restaurant, or right here is a gym, and one of them will just be a Buddhist / Taoist temple. Here's another temple, a big proper one on the corner. But yeah, it's really weird. I found a few of those where it's just like one of the neighborhood businesses seemingly is just like a little temple. And they're all super ornate and extremely beautiful. They have a very uniform look. Like I'd say in Japan, the temples and shrines are fairly uniform, but far more different than South Korea or here. The South Korean ones are pretty uncommon and have a distinct look, where the ones here have yet a different look. It's like a lot of really ornate rainbow-colored dragons and stuff. And apparently the religion it's like a mixture of Buddhism and Taoism. Stuff I don't really know a ton about. But yeah, they're just tucked away. Some of them are just tucked away. Little hidden shrines right in the city. I don't know, it's just kind of cool. But anyway, it's 2 days later now. I'm not sure what time I went to bed last night, but I woke up at like 1 in the afternoon again today, but with more sleep. So I'm like, all right, I can work with this. Let's go. At least the good thing, even though my going to sleep is still fucking all over the place, I'm consistently waking up around 1 in the afternoon. That's a start, you know? That's a start. I know that doesn't sound great, but I mean, compared to before, oh, there's another one. Wow, there's a lot of them. A lot of these little hidden shrines. Maybe it's like, because there are also some, just some closed shutters I've been walking by that just aren't being used. Maybe if you have a neighborhood that just has enough unused spaces, maybe they're like, I don't know, man, let's put a shrine in. Let's get some use out of one of these spaces. But yeah, before when I was waking up at like 3:30, 4 in the afternoon, when the day is truly over before it even begins, compared to that, waking up at 1 in the afternoon is fine. Not good enough for going to the national park, but good enough for a smaller journey. All right, I've gotten turned around a little, so anyway, I got to figure out where. The trains are above ground here too, so if I can see, I should be able to see them in the distance to know if I'm going the right way. But my plan today, the way last segment I just did a little quick journey on the brown line, today the plan is the green line. Gonna go to the end of the green line, do a little hike. It is 35 degrees today, but it just feels different. It's a little bit breezy, it's a little bit cool. The weather website, it warns of the weather, but it doesn't have the official weather warning banner. So I don't know what that means, I don't know what the difference is. But coming up this week, there's like one more day that's 35. The rest are all below that, more around 30, which again is just so weird that 30 degrees seemed so awful when I was on Jeju. Now that's like, oh good, the hot weather has passed. Crazy fucking shit, this weather. Whoops, okay, walking exactly the wrong way, but yeah, I almost made it. Oh, I see, so here's the overpass that leads to the McDonald's, and then just past the McDonald's is the subway station. That makes sense. It makes sense that they'd want to have the McDonald's near a subway. It's all coming together, but all right. Gonna go hop on the train, head to the green line, go explore. Even just exploring the lines is kind of neat, because the other day I hopped on the blue line just as an experiment. It's like, yeah, let's just go to the end of the blue line and see what's there. And I learned that it doesn't go all the way. You gotta transfer halfway. So I only went halfway and saw what was there instead. But you know, good to know. Now I know you can't just go straight to the end of the blue line. How about the green line? Let's find out. Well, this turned out pretty fucking good. So yeah, the train, the Green Line, took me all the way to the end. Xindian, I think the station is called. And I started seeing little things on the LCD scroll about passengers who are looking for the Bitan. Man, it was called something like the Bitan beautiful area. I can't remember what they actually called it. But something suggesting it was a beautiful touristy wonder area. What the hell was it called? Anyway, should get off at Xindian station. And I was like, all right, good. That's what I was gonna do anyway. And then I got here, and man, it really is kind of like life on easy mode, in the sense of I was thinking how, you know, in my normal day-to-day, or especially during lockdown, it's like just staying at home, working on stuff. And of course, most people are trying to, you know, through their jobs and their families, that's how you build something in your life. Where, you know, I was just trying to write a novel or whatever, but it's still like a lot of work, still very hard. It's still like continuous daily effort necessary in the hopes of developing something interesting. Where, yeah, during all this traveling, it's like, dude, literally, I don't know how interesting this is to the outside world, but to me, for me to feel like I have a fascinating, interesting time on the earth, all I got to do is just get on a subway and just go to some station I never went to before. You know, just go to some country I've never been to before. Just travel around, and it's automatically, to me, a fascinating day. But yeah, this one, there was a whole, like a promenade and all these people milling around, and duck boats, you know, the whole touristy, cool waterside vibe. And this beautiful pedestrian bridge. So I went across that. It was called the Bitan Suspension Bridge. And then I saw a sign that said Hemei Summit, 800 meters, Hemei. And since we are down at the south part of Taipei, this is where everything just kind of gives way to endless mountains. So I assume that's where I'm heading now, is sort of toward the endless mountains, but obviously not very deep in, just pure tourismville. A nice walkway up through this mountain, nice stone steps, full fences so I won't fall down into these gorges and get hurt, and just beautiful greenery. And this is double awesome because, you know, again, the heat's all relative, but the direct sunlight was very bad. I was like, uh-oh, I think I actually underdid it with the suntan lotion today. This is hurting my skin. But now that I'm in here, it's all shaded because of jungle-esque foliage. So yeah, this place rules. This is awesome. Well, this is pretty cool, but I don't know what's going on around here. It's a little confusing. Basically, went up to the top of that mountain, 150 meters, though the view from the peak wasn't the coolest ever. Although apparently there's like 3 peaks that are all approximately the same, so I only saw one of them. There were little off trails, but I stuck to just the major one because I don't know where I am or what's going on around here. And then on the way down, I did see a better view, which is cool because Taipei is so small that I'm looking out across the city, and that Taipei 101 building, that really is the money melon. It is the easiest way to determine what's going on, and it's like the only tower, I think, the only thing that tall in the city. So it was farther away now, it was smaller, but it's like, oh, there it is though, I can really easily see it. So normally I was seeing it from the other side and from closer. Now I'm down south, but you know, I think I'm technically not even in Taipei. I think Xindian, Xindian, is a different city technically that I'm in now. But basically the edge of Taipei, right by the mountains. And it's like, there it is though. There's the whole city. It's delightfully little. It's charming. You know, you really can just get all around on a subway. And I think despite the fact that it is a little bit of a small city and I've done an awful lot here already, I think I am just going to stay in Taipei for my 90 days in Taiwan. It'd be one of those things I could explore a little more next time. And I mean, in South Korea, I was very motivated to get out of Seoul, very motivated to leave that place. And Busan is so famous, it's like, well, I got to at least go there. And then since I had the 6 months, I ended up also going to Jecheon and Jeju. But yeah, 90 days isn't really that long. Like even the 2 times I visited Japan, it was still mostly Tokyo, though I do kind of think of West Tokyo as different enough to feel like a different city, a different part of Japan. But I managed to squeeze in Fukuoka each time, which I only did initially because my friend Brad lived there, and it was still only 3 weeks of the 90 days that I was in Fukuoka. So I guess I really don't necessarily travel a ton within countries, so it's not so weird. Like at first I was like, is it weird to just stay in Taipei the whole 90 days and not go see somewhere else? But I could save that for next time. Next time I come to this country, that's when I can explore around more. For now, the time's going by fast. I'm over halfway done. It's weird too, I just checked, I had to double check, like when actually is my exit date? It's October 24th. And when I went to Japan at the beginning of this journey, it was October 26th. So it'll be almost exactly a year. I'll be going back to Japan if all goes well, essentially the exact same time of year. I guess that's what happens when you get a 180-day visa in South Korea, you know? That was a long-ass stay. When you spend 6 months somewhere, you know, the year gets eaten up fast. But yeah, then from there is like a trail system, and there's a bunch of signs, but they're not very much in English. And now I'm just down in some kind of little community, and I just kind of walk down to just walking around some apartments, just hit a little parking lot dead end. I'm walking back to go somewhere else. I don't know, I don't know where to go around here. I don't know that there is anywhere to go. There are a bunch of mountains, you know, you can keep going up into the mountains forever. But again, that is one of those things where these are just like the end of the line. Now you just hike across the whole interior of Taiwan where everything's a mountain. Not necessarily an easy thing, like an easy choice, like, oh, let's just go there. So I don't know, should I even be trying to do that? Should I be approaching that at all? Maybe I'll just wander around this neighborhood a little, and that'll be that. But it is a very nice neighborhood. Because yeah, as far as mountaineering and pushing forth into the wild yonder, I definitely want to do that up north, because that's the national park where everything is very well developed and well labeled, and you can only go so far, before you just hit the coast. Real tall mountains, but not an especially rugged environment where, yeah, looking out at these mountains, it's just like, this is the closest to this, I guess, was when I was east of the Taipei 101 at the big cemetery, and I could just see rolling mountains off into infinity, but I knew the coast is out there somewhere, It still would be a long journey, but I can conceive of the end. Not this one. Down south, this is the one that just goes forever. This is the endless mountains. If there's one way not to go, I guess is what I'm trying to say, this is it. But it's real pretty to see. Man, I was thinking about spending 6 months in South Korea. It's a weird feeling because last little segment when I did that little hike, as I came down the other side, I was just kind of trapped on a highway and had to walk down the highway a bit to get to a train. It reminded me a lot of, there was a mountain in Busan that was right across from my Airbnb, and I went up and had this amazing view. But then I went down the other side and I got caught in a similar situation where it was like city. It was all really well developed, but it was just big traffic-filled streets that I had to walk down for quite some time to get to a train. And I was thinking, now that I've been away from South Korea for a while, and I mean Jeju feels different enough that it could be its own country. It did not feel very much like South Korea in a lot of ways. So I've been here for a month and a half, and I was in Jeju for like a couple of months. So in total, that was like, it's been several months since I've been to mainland South Korea, and I realized I'm starting to get a little nostalgic about it already. South Korea definitely is the oddest feeling of these countries. Like, obviously Japan is very different from North America, but just because of anime and video games, you know, I was a bit prepared. I was sort of, a lot of stuff didn't take me as by surprise as it would, because I knew about it passively from Japanese entertainment. And here in Taiwan, not only does it feel a bit like Japan, but it mainly feels like Chinatown. You know, I'm not going to say China, because my few experiences in China have been weird and not great. But the Chinatown areas of cities, you know, obviously that's everywhere. I've been aware of that my whole life, and I think I absorbed more than I realized I did. So a lot of walking around Taiwan, it's like, oh, it's just like a nice big Chinatown that never stops. But in a good way. I don't know, that was my first impression of Seoul also. Seoul feels like a big American Chinatown, like in Philadelphia or New York, but it, you know, a kind of not great version of a Chinatown that never fucking ends. Whereas this is like a nice Chinatown that never ends. This is like the Chinatown in Yokohama, except it just stretches on and on and on forever. And it just feels very comfortable, and it's just like, oh, even though I can't read the words and I can't speak the language, it feels pretty comfortable. It feels pretty much like things I've felt before, just more of it. Where South Korea definitely is its own beast. It is definitely, to me, the most idiosyncratic, I guess, of these Asian countries that I've been to. It's very much doing its own thing, and it is insulated in a way of like, we really want to do our own thing. We don't want to use loan words. We don't want to have other people's culture everywhere, which, you know, I'm a very surface level guy. I only recognize things on a surface level as I go around. But I certainly noticed it, you know, in South Korea. It's just like, hey, where's the anime store? Where's the video game store? They just aren't there, you know, or very rare on the video game front. And then as I learned a little more about it, it's like, yeah, they did have this embargo on Japan in the 90s, and they're very much going out of their way to get rid of loan words from other countries and stuff. Even right down to the fact that they've somehow like altered 7-Eleven to the point that it doesn't feel the same. You know, the 7-Elevens in Taiwan don't have the same products as they do in Japan, but they both feel the same in the sense that I can just go in and close my eyes and pick something up, and I probably will love it. As I chronicled, it's just not that way in South Korea. Just everything is different in South Korea. Almost like, it almost has like an obstinate feeling of like, no, we're not going to do it like everyone else does it. We're going to do it a different way. And that definitely made it a little tough for me to get comfortable in South Korea. But after a while, I mean, I was there 6 months. You just get used to how things work, and it's like, yeah, this is all right. This is fine. Ultimately, it's just life on Earth. It's not that different. Oh, so the chocolate bars and chips at the convenience store feel a little different. Who the fuck gives a shit? You know? It's just, if anything, it just displays what a terminally shallow person I am. But then on the other hand, because I'm so shallow, you know, 6 months is a long time, you know? Even though I was just visiting, I don't know, when does it count as like, when can you say you lived somewhere? You know, is 6 months long enough? I lived in New York for 1.5 years. I definitely lived there, you know, no question. I could tell people with a straight face I used to live in New York. But maybe 6 months isn't really enough. And especially when it's a culture that's so different, how much did I really interface? How much did I really experience that, you know? I experienced it passively, just as a guy walking around the outside edge of Jeju Island. But the reality is that most of my day-to-day was just going to convenience stores and walking around. I guess there's a limit to how much you can absorb that way. I never had to go to a job in South Korea. I never had to go to a school there. I only ever even talked to people for brief conversations, you know, like might meet somebody here and there and talk to them for 20 minutes or half an hour. And that was it. So yeah, I don't know. I certainly wouldn't say like, oh yeah, I've been to South Korea. I get South Korea. I really don't. But what little ways that I did, I guess, in what little ways that I did absorb it, I'm already feeling a bit nostalgic. You know, it's definitely one of those things that I will certainly go back. Even Seoul, that I talk shit about all the time, I'll go back to Seoul just for Bukhansan, just for those mountains, if nothing else. But yeah, I don't know, I just thought I'd bring that up, that because it really felt that way the other day. It's just kind of interesting, because mostly, like I said, Taiwan either feels like Chinatown or a small remix of Japan, specifically Shimen, that neighborhood, Shimending. But every once in a while, things line up just right that I'm like, oh, now it feels like Korea. This feels like South Korea. And I was like, oh, I like that feeling. I like that feeling of being back here in my mind. Now what is this? I've gotten to a bus depot. And it's like, yeah, I'm not really interested in that. I'm more than happy to walk back to the subway, but the only way out of here is like a little windy street. It has a very small walking path. I guess there was a person walking down it, so that wouldn't be the craziest thing. Oh, okay, good. That road I'm looking at is the wrong one. That goes up into the mountains. I don't want that. ThereThere's a road, Yongye Road. That's weird because it's like Yonge Street. Y-O-N-G-E, but with an extra Y. Y-O-N-G-Y-E. Yongye Road, but it looks almost like Yonge Street. Which is a famous street in Toronto. Anyway, if I walk down this, yeah, it should take me right back to where I started. Cool. And there's some more hiking on the other side of the river, but the day's slipping away from me, so probably that's that. But yeah, kind of a nice little neighborhood, kind of a nice little walk, but yeah, certainly a little confusing. Definitely there's no clear path forward, which yeah, geez, just looking on the map, wow. Just zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. There's everything, there's all of Taipei. There's the national park, but then yeah, down to the south of me, there's just nothing. It's just mountains, 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 mountains. Man. Like Taiwan is already a very small country. It's like half the size of my home province of New Brunswick. But it's easily half mountains. It's probably way more than half mountains. It's probably like 70% mountains. Certainly interesting. It'd be interesting if I was a for real hiker and I could just hike and hike and hike for days and days on end. Just hike clear across the country. That'd be cool. But Lord knows that is not me. And in fact, yeah, down Yongye Road, is that a Family Mart sign I spy? I think it is. I think a popsicle and a coffee are in my future. Still working towards my grand entrance to the national park. I've been at the border several times, have not gone in. Just got to try to get my shit together. Got to get my sleep schedule just even fucking approximating a normal human being. Then we'll be good to go. In the meantime, miniature adventures. Taipei's turning out to be real good for this. Just pick a spot, man. Just pick a fucking spot on the subway. There's probably something cool there. Ah, look at that. Just came up from the underground Sanchong station, back where I started. Greeted by a beeping bus. Yeah, it is dark as shit out. Didn't expect that. 10 to 7 at night. Didn't think it would be fully dark when I came out of the subway, but yeah, I thought that might be the end of the episode, but I think I'm gonna head back to that exact same station. Because on the way back, I found another hiking trail across the river on the same side as the station called Lion's Head Mountain or something. I'll figure it out when I'm there. But yeah, I went basically to the start. I found the start, and it's really close to the subway station. But the sun was already on its way down. So it's like, yeah, right, ain't doing that today. But cool, that was pretty easy to get to. I predict that I will not be waking up early enough to go to the national park anytime too soon. So next adventure, I'm gonna head straight back there. But I noticed on the way back, on the subway, the little LCD scroll going by, this time it wasn't talking about the scenic tourist area. It was a, hey, don't eat and drink on the subway. But the message said, do not smoke, eat, drink, chew gum, or chew betel leaves, B-E-T-E-L. And I was like, betel leaves, what the fuck is that? And it's just like, whatever it is, it seems kind of funny to add it into, I mean, it's a little funny to have to tell people not to smoke on the subway to begin with. Don't eat or drink, you know, that's a pretty standard message. Chew gum, sure, why not? Although, come to think of it, I guess it is kind of funny to tell people not to chew gum. Because, I mean, chewing gum is probably fine as long as it stays in your mouth, but I guess they don't want to risk it, you know? We don't want to give you the opportunity to stick your gum everywhere, so just don't. But betel leaves, what the fuck is that? So I happened to get a little bit of Wi-Fi at one of the stations, and basically it seems like it's a cousin of chewing tobacco. It's like an ancient practice that apparently takes place in a lot of countries in this area, like a fuck ton of them, leading way back into history. Way back there is reference to the locals chewing this particular kind of leaf that I guess they roll up with lime, or there's different ways to do it. Leaves your mouth all red, and one of the ancient first references to this said, like, yeah, these guys, man, they just chew this stuff all the time. If they stopped, I think they might die. You know, it was, people were aware that it was an addictive practice right from the get-go, or at least outsiders were aware of this. So yeah, apparently on the wiki page, it goes through all of the different countries where this is the thing. So I just scrolled down to the Taiwan part because I only had limited internet, no time to read the whole thing. And basically it's almost gone from Taiwan. It's not a common practice, but you can still buy this stuff from little roadside kiosks and stuff. And it's not nicotine, it's a different thing. It starts with an A, but I couldn't look that up because I lost the internet. But basically you chew this stuff, it promotes cancer in the mouth and gums and the throat. Clearly a bad thing to do. Doesn't seem like it's greatly popular anymore. It's a controversial, apparently, I don't know that I've ever seen one of these kiosks, but I guess it's like the traditional thing is to have like hot ladies dressed in an enticing way to sell you this horrible cancer death chewing leaf. So I don't know, that doesn't feel like something I've seen. Who knows though, keep my eyes peeled. But yeah, I don't know, interesting that they mention it on the LCD screen in the subway, because it really doesn't seem like that is necessary. Probably none of that message is really necessary. I think everybody kind of knows how subways work. But it's just interesting to see like such an ancient thing combined with the gleaming technology of an LCD scroll scrolling by on a subway. Though I guess it's all relative. You could argue LCD technology is not exactly new, but it's certainly newer than the betel leaf. The fuck? Anyway, I just thought that was kind of interesting. I learned about a new thing. And I mean, it's just so neat that, yeah, like everything's like I was saying before about how traveling around to different countries, it is like the cheat code to make my own life feel interesting. This is like the shortcut. I don't have to work too hard for it. I don't have to build my own little fascinating life. I just have to walk out the door and just go somewhere I've never been before, and stuff will happen. And this is a great example. I was just on the subway and I learned about this thing I never heard of before. And that's like such a strange feeling. I was thinking back to like the yuzu fruit in Japan. I'm like, I mean, obviously there is no end, but there's this like arrogance, I guess, to North American life that we kind of think like, hey, we're North America, we're top of the heap. Everything cool is in North America, top of the fucking food chain. I don't know, maybe you're a more humble North American, but that's certainly that's the feeling I grew up with, the feeling that seems like it permeates North American life as far as I've noticed. Like, we have everything you have and better. And just to constantly be taught about or to learn about all these things that I never even heard of. You know, maybe some are better than others. Yuzu's an interesting, useful thing to know about. You can make stuff with that. You can put it in recipes. You can make drinks. It's an interesting, cool fruit. The betel leaf, the only benefit there is don't fucking do it. Don't chew it. 100% a bad thing. But I still never heard of it. Like, never heard of it. Had no inkling that that existed. Didn't have a guess that that was ever a thing. And then you look at this wiki page and it's like, here's the fucking 20 countries where this was a very common practice. That, you know, you should have at least heard of it. But I didn't. And it's like, where's the end of that? Where's the bottom? And there is no bottom. This is going to be happening for the rest of my life. The day I fucking die, I'm probably going to like learn about some kind of weird thing I never heard of before. Unless I'm in North America. If I'm in North America, you can literally go years and never be confronted with something new. It's just how it is, you know? I spent decades there. I know what's going on there. It's very rare for something new and interesting to happen. Not because North America is so boring, just because I've been there my whole life. It's just such a cool feeling to just be somewhere else. And it doesn't matter if it's not a deep thing that I learned about. It doesn't matter if it's not particularly like relevant or, I mean, the betel leaf, that's never going to be relevant in my life. That information might never be useful ever again. But it's still just something I didn't know about. And I didn't learn it by going into an old library and dusting off an ancient tome. It was on a fucking LCD scroll next to Don't Chew Gum on the subway. It's the most normal thing around here. And to me, it's the most exotic thing that I never heard of once. It's just cool, man. It's a good feeling. It feels neat. But anyway, there's learning time with the Taipei subway. We learned about the betel leaf. If somebody tells you to chew one, don't do it. It's bad for you. Now let's do a little fade out, and if all goes to plan, we'll fade back in, right back at Xindian Station, which the chances of me pronouncing that correctly are low. And we're gonna go up another hiking path. Welly, this might not be happening today. So, you know, I really am it's so lucky that I can travel for these extended periods of time. Because, man, it must just be the worst if you have a very limited amount of time to travel. I'm trying to think back to like when I would go on trips, like family trips for a few days. I think like at most, you know, maybe it would be a week if we went all the way to like drove to Florida or some kind of crazy shit. I guess I don't remember the weather being a particular problem, but I don't know that we had much of an itinerary either. Maybe this is why I travel so randomly. I learned it from you. And I don't remember my family trips having a ton lined up. We just kind of wander around and see what happened. But man, yeah, so I was like, I'll come back to this Xindian neighborhood by Bitan. I found a second hiking trail near here. But then the next day, I mean, my sleep schedule is always bad to begin with. It was extra bad because I was sick last week and it fucked me all up. But then I got hit with a wave of insomnia on top of my sleep schedule already being fucked. And yeah, it's just ridiculous. I just cannot fall asleep. Like, what is this? So I got the crazy idea, like maybe I should try to go flip-flop instead of trying to wake up earlier. At this point, what if I just went the other way? What if I tried to push forward so that I just like, I don't know, what if I woke up at 3 a.m. and then I could just dick around till 6 a.m. when the subway opens and like start my day? That could be kind of cool. But that didn't work. That just ended up leaving me still unable to sleep in the middle of the night. but now with like a terrible headache because I hadn't slept during the day or whatever. It just sucks. And it's like, you know, my body is all miserable and headachy, and it's like, well, I don't know what to tell you, body. I'm laying here with my fucking head on a pillow and my eyes closed. It's up to you now. If you don't want to be miserable, if you don't want to feel bad and have a headache, then go to sleep. I mean, what else am I supposed to do for you here? It's on you. So I missed that day. That day was gone, but it turned out to be not that big a deal because, you know, worries that the heat wave are over. I should have worried not. It's still pretty motherfucking hot. And also the weather. The weather really is just pretty crazy in Taiwan. So then it started raining like crazy too. So I was like, oh, well, that's fine. That day would have been fucked anyway. So now we're 2 days on. I finally got an okay amount of sleep. Got up and at 'em by the early afternoon. Not so bad. Plenty of time to go do a nice little local hike. But the weather was saying, could be some more rain. Seems like rain. But I left the house and it was just so gorgeous. So beautiful. Perfectly clear skies. And it's like, there's no way. There's no fucking way, right? Got on the subway for 40 minutes. Came up at this end at Xindian. And it was just the hardest rain in the world. And it's like, uh-oh. And according to the weather, it was supposed to rain start at like 2 o'clock and go for hours. So yeah, it's 3 o'clock now, so they were pretty much right on. It must have started raining about 2:30. And yeah, everything is just full-on gray skies now. The rain is at least, it's already stopped to the point that it's kind of just normal rain. But I don't know, it's like, I came up from the escalator and it's like, should I just turn right around? Should I just go get right back on that subway and go home? Like, why bother checking out? But I was getting a little stir-crazy being in the subway. And it's like, who knows? I don't know. I'll just get out and see what happens. But I don't think so. I'm just at the station. The hiking trail I was going to go to, it's very near here, but I mean, it could be next door. It could be connected to this place and it wouldn't matter. It's still just raining way too hard. So I don't know. I brought my umbrella and everything. I even have my disposable raincoat. I might try to go for a little walk around this neighborhood, but it'll have to be a short one. I'm stymied by the weather. Oh yeah, but also another reason why this could possibly be a good thing is then also I got hit with random stomach problems. I don't know what this is all about. And all I could find here, like to the point that I had to stop midway and just get off a train at a random station to use the washroom and get back on the train. So maybe I was down there a little longer. And all I could find were squat toilets today. But yeah, even just that, the rumblings in my tummy, it's like, this might not be a good day to go hiking anyway. But yeah, that's the point I was trying to make is between random bouts of insomnia, random stomach troubles, and random rainy weather. Like, man, luckily, I've still got like a little over a month in Taiwan. Like, whatever, I'll try again tomorrow. It's supposed to be a lot of rain though for the next week, so we'll see. But even that, like that I have options that I could take this chill and just try again some other day. God damn, traveling must be stressful as fuck when it's like, we can't try another day. Today's the day. This is all we got. Let's fucking do this. It's like, shit. Yikes. Anyway, one thing that was cool, let's just end this episode off here. An attempt at a hike didn't work out. Oh man, I wish I could get out of here. I'm right by the buses. This is like a bus depot. I don't know, let's try to go around the corner. How far can I get and still be under an awning and not get rained on? The land of the beep. Land of the beeping buses. But yeah, yesterday actually was my birthday. I kind of lost track of it. I sort of forgot. Years ago, I took my birthday off Facebook because it was one of those things where like you'd get the happy birthday messages because Facebook reminded everyone. And it was just kind of weird on multiple levels of like, man, I cannot believe another year has passed already, and then another year, and then another year, and it's just disturbing in that sense. But then there's also the, I'm pretty sure the last time I talked to X or Y person was last year when they wished me a happy birthday. And then it's 2 years in a row where, wow, the only times I've talked to this person are because Facebook told them it was my birthday. I felt a lot more comfortable once I just took my birthday off of Facebook, and then it's just like, so now I don't talk to those people at all, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll talk to them when it's time to talk to them, when I'm back in the neighborhood that they live in or whatever. I don't mind just not talking to somebody for 2 or 3 years. We still maintain the friendship. It's no problem. But yeah, the fake birthday greeting was just like, I don't care for this. But then once I did that, I started losing track of my birthday. It's like, I don't even know when this is. It is September 18th, though, just in case you're curious. Today's September 19th. So I was like, I guess I didn't do anything for my birthday. It's a little bit like a smaller version of the Christmas thing of like, oh, shouldn't you do something on Christmas? But then I was trying to think back to my birthday last year, and I honestly can't even remember what I did. I don't think I had left for Montreal yet. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I was still back in my hometown, surrounded by friends and family, and I still don't remember what I did for my birthday. Like, I haven't even got an inkling. So who cares if I didn't do anything for my birthday in Taiwan? Who gives a shit? It does not matter. Oh, what's kind of cool is at the Airbnb I'm at, the lady hung some, I don't know what they are, but they were really good. They were like little balls, 2 little bakery balls with like a flaky pastry, and then maybe it's bean paste on the inside, but it was delicious. And I was like, wow, cool, thank you, you know? She put them on everybody's door, but I was like, hey, good timing, because tomorrow's actually my birthday. How neat. I didn't think I'd get a birthday present while I was traveling outside of Canada. And she said it was for the Moon Festival. The Moon Festival, apparently, it's the autumn festival. I think there's 3 major festivals every year, and from what I can tell, it's mainly get a day off work so you can go visit your family, one of those types of deals. But she said, hey, happy Moon Festival. And it turns out September 18th is also her mom's birthday. So I was like, oh, wow, cool. We have the same birthday. So then yesterday, I figured like, okay, that's cool. Some Moon Festival bakery. How nice. You know, the guy in Hachioji on New Year's, he gave me a little New Year's cake. You know, you just remember those little things. It's like, what nice Airbnb host. But yeah, so I thought that'd be that. But then today, there was another thing. There was like a proper little slice of birthday cake in a little container hung on my doorknob. And it's like, that's delightful. What a nice lady. And also, I was going to do this anyway, but I extended my booking there until I'm all done in Taiwan, because it just seems like a nice place. But that super confirmed it. It's like, what a nice lady. And kind of double nice, because I met her the first day when I had to check in, but I always kind of prefer to just be on my own. Not to be overly catered to by Airbnb hosts. That gets a little uncomfortable sometimes, so she's perfect. Saw her the first day. She's just leaving me to my devices. But when she found out it was my birthday, she gave me a piece of cake and a Moon Festival thing. Delightful. Just good stuff. Well, this rain is calming down. Although I suspect if I went out and walked in it, it would probably build up on me pretty fucking fast. Yeah, probably not a good idea to go hiking, but I think I can at least just walk around the hood. That'd be alright. Walk around for an hour. Get to soak in the Bitan scenic area, whatever, in the rain. Actually, I'm pretty sure if I go down by the river, there's a lot of awnings and stuff down there too, so I probably won't even be rained on that much. Cool. But anyway, let's wrap up this episode here, put a pin in it. I still got a hike I can do in this neighborhood, but not today, and maybe not tomorrow, and maybe not the next day. Who the fuck knows? But luckily, I can just keep trying. Just keep trying until it all works out. Anyway, thank you for listening. I'll talk to you next episode. Adios.